All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Carly Burton Soleil, and I'm with BenQ. I'm going to be your moderator for the webinar this morning. We're really excited to have you guys join us as we talk about our BenQ digital signage and what we have available for you guys for your campuses and schools here in the U.S. Again, as I mentioned, we are going to be having everyone be on silent as we get going, and we'll be taking questions in the Q&A section or in the chat section. And at the end of our session, we will bounce over to Q&A and be able to answer any of your questions. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get things started. Here we go. All right, so we have a couple of guests that are going to be joining us today. We have Alex McCure, who's our Senior Key Partner Manager for BenQ North America. Here in the DFW Metroplex. We also have Francisco Flores, who's one of our field application engineers, who will be joining us for the Q&A section and who also helped with the demonstration you're going to see here at the end of this quick slide deck. Both of them are great points of contact within the company on digital signage. So if you have any questions, we will make their contact information available for you. So really quickly, we're just going to talk through a couple of things. We have as we talked about, we're going to be talking about digital signage today. So we have the world's first color performance Pantone validated messaging for your campus. We have a content management solution for your campus called Xsign 3.0 that allows you to easily create content to put on your screen or gives you options for templating. We also have our device management solution called DMS that allows you to control all the campus hardware anywhere in your campus. If you have multiple buildings or whatever, you can control it all from your office, just like you can with our BenQ boards. And then we're going to talk about how you could use these digital signage pieces also for teaching because it has the EDLA capabilities just like our boards do. It's just not a touch product. So as we go into it, as you see here, we have vibrant, integrated, and secure digital signage that is perfect for making sure your messaging and the information on our campus is clear, that your logos for your campus or your school are crisp and the correct colors, and that everyone gets the message and you have complete control over how they receive it. So what are we talking about here? We have some industry-leading specs for these commercial displays. They have, like we mentioned a second ago, the Google EDLA certification, which basically means all the Google goodness is baked right into the back end of our hardware, comes automatically with the board or with the digital signage piece. We also are the first digital signage company that has gone through the rigorous certification or validation process with the Pantone Corporation that makes all the beautiful colors that we see and paints and everything else the truest of colors, and they have validated these digital signage pieces to be 99% RGB color accurate, which is amazing. So we're the only ones that have it, not just for the regular colors that are on there, but they've also now validated it for skin tone. So if you're using this for any sort of hosting a virtual event through it or something like that, everyone's skin tones are going to be the right colors, and you're going to have beautiful imagery when you put your students from campus up on these digital signage pieces to help promote or advertise your campus. We also have video conferencing available through these with the addition of a camera system, and then you can do wireless presentation to them with our InstaShare software. So what does that mean for you? With the digital signage pieces, it's one CMS solution for every campus. So you manage, again, all of it from the back end, and you can, through the creator and the designer, the manager, and the player, you can create your content, you can push it out as the manager and load it all into your central DMS system. And then you can push it out to all the boards or all the signage pieces across your campus. And you can have it play everywhere. You can control everything as far as when they turn on, when they turn off, when different pieces of content run. So let's say you're having a PTA meeting on your campus, or you're having a guest lecture on your university. You can have specific content load in the day before or 2 days before, the day of, definitively to say, hey, don't forget this session is coming up. Make sure that you come by to help promote it on your campus. Let's say you're talking about a school and you have a PTA meeting. You want to talk about what's coming up for the month. I know for my kids' school, I get an email every week that's like, here's what's coming up for the week, and it's beautiful. All of those things, whether they're created in Canva or created in our system, can easily be loaded into Xsign and then pushed out to every board or even just specific boards. So let's say if you're running something in the cafeteria, you can have that board or that signage piece have different content than what you're going to have in the hallways or what you're going to have in the lobby of the school. All of those can be run directly from your DMS platform and pushed to specific signage pieces within the campus. So what are we talking about? We're talking about creating content. Well, I'm a Canva person, so I would probably create a lot of stuff in Canva and then you just drop it in here. But we do, with our Xsign Designer, have 150 templates for building different types of content available within the system. So you can do campus mapping, so you can show everybody where they need to be. You have workshops, you have the cafeteria menu, you have a bulletin board like we talked about. What's the week schedule look like so that everybody knows where they need to be at all times? So when we talk about real-time content management, you can create, you can publish, you can have real-time visibility. You can see the changes across the campus with the digital signage network, and you can push updates to the signage pieces to make sure that they're running on the most recent versions of our software. And you can also use that library like we talked about for the templates to build what you want to have built, or you can build it in any other design software and just drop the images in. So as we talked about as well, you can schedule. So let's just say you want to put something in the cafeteria and you want to advertise like what is going to be for breakfast this morning as an option and what is going to be for lunch. You can have your breakfast content loaded for the morning portion and then automatically schedule ahead of time what the lunch portion will be. And you can build that out like weeks or months ahead of time. You can put time sensitive information on there, making sure that it reaches the audience when it's supposed to. You can even do live. You can take a video portion and you can drop it in here and you can have that playing live. And you can have where the materials on there auto rotate. So if you build something, whether it's within the Xsign Designer or you build it in a different platform that it happens to be a live or like a slide deck or something that you want it to auto run, you can do that as well. There's a lot of flexibility and functionality with it. The other part is device management. As we talked about, this all runs on your DMS system. If you're not familiar with DMS because you haven't heard of it before, this is your first time at one of our webinars, it allows you as the IT director to be able to manage all of your devices within your environment from one portal that you can do on your phone from your office in a different building, and not have to go and check on something. So if somebody messages you and said, hey, this signage just went off, you can check on the back end to make sure something hasn't been flipped. But you can also turn power on and off. You can update content. You can make sure that it's performing the way it's supposed to, and you can do updates to it, all from the comfort of your office or from wherever you're at with your device. Again, we talked about device management system. It gives you a lot of capabilities to be able to manage and view what is actually going on with your devices across the campus or district. So you can manage all the settings. You can manage the Wi-Fi. Maybe the Wi-Fi dropped for some reason because it's rebooting because of a power surge. You can also do app installations and whitelist and blacklist what apps you want to have available because, again, it is a Google EDLA certified board, which means your Google Play Store is available on the display. You can also automate things on your campus like we talked about earlier. You can tell it when to turn it off. You can tell it, oh, there's an over-the-air update that came in from BenQ. I don't want it to run in the middle of the day when I've got information and content running across my digital signage. So all you're going to do is just schedule it where like, I want this over-the-air update to update at 1 o'clock in the morning. So turn my board on at 12:30 in the morning, run the update at 1 o'clock, and then have it turn off like at 2 o'clock in the morning. That way you're not running it all night, even though our digital signage with the SL series is 24/7 rated and 500 nits of beautiful color. And then as far as management policies, like I mentioned before, you can have very clear policies of what you do and do not allow to be added. So let's say you have multiple campuses, you got an elementary school, you got middle schools, you got high school. All of their content is different and you don't necessarily need to have the IT team manage all of that content directly. You can make an administrator for each one of your campuses that has the authority to build like the content schedule, and you can still oversee it, but you can also set the policy of what can and can't be done based on the district's current policy for securities and certificates and things to that effect that you guys have in place to make sure your campus is safe. And then you can also look on the back end of it and you can see all of the analytics of what's going on, what's being watched, what's being run on it. All of that is available within the DMS platform. And you can do the same thing with your digital signage. You can say, okay, this same image has been on there for 2 weeks. Probably we need to do some sort of an update, or you can see where it's running and doing what it needs to do. So what do we have with these digital signage pieces? We have really powerful, industry-leading software that's built into the back of it and core applications. So you have one of the fastest core processors in the market. You've got a lot of room to add things to it with 8 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. All of these digital signage pieces can be oriented into portrait mode from landscape. So it gives you options to have something that's designed or tilted in a different way. Maybe you've got some limited wall space where you want to have it mounted. You can do all of that with these displays. You got 24/7 support. You've got like light capabilities. You got a bunch of different ports so that if you wanted to plug a different device into it, you could do that and run it through it. And then you obviously have the Android 13 and EDLA capabilities built into the SL series. So as we mentioned, the SL series of the 2 digital signage pieces we're going to talk about today, they are EDLA certified. So it means you can run all of your Google apps directly from your signage piece. So if you're thinking about putting a non-touch secondary board or something like that, or putting one of these in your classroom to be used for presenting and teaching, you would have the ability to tie these to your Google Classroom accounts. So your teachers can grab anything from their Google Drive. It just doesn't have, like our boards, it doesn't have that NFC capability. So they would have to log in with a QR code or something else, but you have access to all the things you would normally have access to. You would just have to run it with a remote or with a keyboard. And then, like we talked about before, access to everything. We know that schools are using Google more and more, and we just want to make sure that we have signage pieces that can also be used in different ways to allow them to present wherever they're at. And then we have enhanced security with Google so that we can keep everything safe, that you can have app security, and that your campus, just like every other piece of hardware that's on there, is privacy-based and secure. So also within the digital signage pieces, both the ST04 and the SL04, you have the option or the capability of using InstaShare. If you're not familiar with InstaShare, it is basically our version of a casting software that just allows you to be more connected to the boards and gives you a little bit more flexibility. We do obviously have Miracast and some other functionalities that come through with InstaShare, but we also have our own software. When we talk about software, whether it's the Xsign or we're talking about InstaShare, all of these softwares come with your product. There's no subscription fee, and you're able to utilize it from day one and run through it. With InstaShare 2, you also have the ability to teach lessons from your device, cast it to the board, and be able, the one on the left you cannot use because they're showing you being able to touch. The digital signage is not touch, obviously, but you can cast from it. We had a teacher at a school we were visiting just recently who was using InstaShare, and she had a Surface for herself, like a Microsoft Surface, and she was running like math manipulatives on it from her screen, but putting it up on her board and being able to show it like in real time. And it was really engaging because then the students at their desks could do the same thing with the manipulatives by hand. You can share ideas, your students can share ideas, and you can also hold collaborative discussions from wherever you're at, whether it's on the board or on the digital signage, the capabilities are the same. And then we have some new features with it where you can do content moderation, where you can block inappropriate content from ever appearing on the screen. You've got peer-to-peer capability. If you really like Miracast, you can do that, but it is really just one screen sharing to one screen. And then we also have AI Lens that allows you to share what's on your phone onto and cast it onto the displays, whether it's digital signage or the boards in your campuses. So what do we have here? We have, like I said, the world's most smart, simple, and secure color performing signage available for your classrooms, whether you use it in a classroom, you use it in a hallway, you use it in a cafeteria, use it wherever you need it. We have beautiful, clear, crisp, colorful digital signage to help get your messaging out, make sure that your campus logos are correct colors and clear, and that they are getting the messages out to everyone who's visiting directly. So I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to stop sharing. we're going to have a very quick demonstration. So I'm going to pass management. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm going to pass management over to Mr. Francisco, and Francisco is going to take over for me. Francisco, are you ready to show everyone what we got with the board with Mr. Alex?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get that up, and we'll push play.
If you can share your screen for us, sir, we'll be ready to rock and roll.
All right, did that come up for everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right. Actually, wait, I think I forgot one setting. There we go.
Hello, my name is Alex McCure with BenQ. I'm here to share some exciting additions to our display lineup, our non-touch displays. Our non-touch displays can be used in a few different areas: classrooms, meeting spaces, or the front office or your hallway for digital signage. Our non-touch displays are turnkey, ready to go out of the box. It has everything you need built into the display, such as wireless casting. We use InstaShare 2 for wireless casting. That's BenQ's proprietary solution, and it supports all of your most popular platforms from Windows to Chrome OS. One of the great things about our non-touch lineup is that you'll be able to manage these displays using BenQ DMS, our device management software. So whether you have a BenQ interactive display or a BenQ non-touch display, they could be managed on the same platform in the same manner. So very efficient, very easy to use, and will keep all your devices up to date. So aside from using this display in a meeting room or a classroom, you can enhance the communication at your campus or your district with digital signage. BenQ XSign is the software that we use to deliver all content to your display. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. The great thing about BenQ XSign is you have a few choices when it comes to what content you want to deliver. You can take content that you've already created, such as something from Canva, Google Slides, or PowerPoint. You could take that presentation, import it into our software, and deliver crisp communication to your panels seamlessly. The other option, you can create a project from scratch. Creating a project from scratch brings you some benefit if you're wanting to use maybe some widgets or tools that aren't available in Canva or PowerPoint, for example. XSign Designer is available for download on our website. Let me go ahead and walk you through the software and show you how you can use it. So you'll start with the blank canvas. That's one option. Or we have lots of templates that you can select from. I'll go ahead and pull up education templates, but different templates, whether it's a campus map, more informative, even lunch menus, really anything that you want can definitely be created, but we do have some templates to help you get started. I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch. So I have a blank sheet here, and let's start with the background, right? We have some basic tools like text. You could type out any text, change the size of that text, the color, the style, insert images, videos, rectangles, ovals. So I'll start with the rectangle, and let's say I want to make that my background color. So I choose a color. I then stretch that rectangle out across the screen, and there we go. So pretty easy and intuitive. And from here, maybe you want to add a logo. So I could click on image, go to wherever it is you keep your files, and I can say, here's our BenQ education logo. Maybe I want that up here. What's great is anything can be resized very easily just by dragging, whether it's the side or the corner, and it will proportionately change that image size for you so it doesn't become distorted. So I added a background color, added a logo. Now let's add the time. A lot of people like to add the time. So I'm going to have to increase the font size here. I like to start with maybe 120. And then I also change the format. There's few options for format. I'm going to go with just hour and minute, so it'll show us 2:39 p.m. If I want that color to match my BenQ education branding, I can go ahead and select that. You'll see you're able to save some of your favorite custom colors. To add a custom color, you could add the hex number and to get your exact match and save that so it's easily accessible in the future. So now my clock is the right color. Maybe I want it to be bold so we could see it a little bit better, and move that anywhere on the screen. So you can see I added my clock. Maybe I want my clock down here at the bottom right. Let me make sure my background fills the whole page. So I'll keep my clock here at the bottom right. Another thing people like to have, the weather widget's a great one, right? You want to be able to share the weather. And again, format is something that you'll always have an option. We want to do Fahrenheit, and we want to maybe do 3 days, but display it horizontally instead of vertically for this example. So now I have my weather here. I could put that at the bottom, stretch that out a little further so it's a little bit bigger and more visible. And I want that color to go ahead and match our branding, of course. So I'm going to maybe change the background to this bluish, light blue color, but you can also change the font color. So let's go back to the BenQ education color, and if I wanted my clock to sort of match that weather, that's where these shapes come in handy. So I could take another rectangle, change that image to match the background. Here we go. Reshape that. You'll see it's currently covering my clock, but I am going to get this all lined up. I could go over here to my layers and click on my clock, and I want to bring my clock to the front. So it's going to bring it back to the front, and now you'll see we have a little conformity here at the bottom with our style and coloring. So I want this font size to be a little bigger. I'm going to see what 150 looks like. That's perfect. So I'm going to leave that there. And you know what's really great about designing these templates, maybe you only have to design it once, and then you sort of have a running template and could interchange the information within this template throughout the year. So I have my weather, I have my time. Now maybe we want to put in some content, right? So maybe if I want to dedicate this middle section to content, I might want to add another shape, right? Add another layer to this. I will take this rectangle here, stretch it down to the bottom, and let's change that color. Let's go with black for now. And again, it's really easy to go and change colors if you decide, oh, maybe this doesn't look so great. Let's try another color. You can do that easily just right here in the properties. So let's go to the widgets. You know, another great widget that we like is YouTube. You can take any YouTube video. We'll take this great BenQ X-Sign video here since it's applicable. I could just copy that and paste that text here. And when I confirm, I'll have my video here on the canvas. I can drag and resize that video to be any size you desire. So we want it just to align with the borders. And here we go. And maybe to the right of that video, you want to drop in a media slideshow. And so what you're going to do is select all the images you want to be a part of this media slideshow here. And once again, you want to determine how large you want this to display your images. I'm going to do it just right, perfect, right here, all the way down. And here we go. So we've got our media slideshow here. Let me make sure that's centered. We have a video. Next thing is our scrolling text, which is a text slideshow. So maybe you wanted to have a scrolling message here. So I can, once again, take this box, size it to your preference, and let's add our text. Now let's take a look at what it looks like. So you could always see a preview before you decide to publish it to your displays. All these slides can be published to any display and scheduled out to display at any time. So whether you want to push out the same messaging to all of the displays on a campus or within your district, or you want separate messaging by campus, that's definitely possible and manageable and just as easy to use. Hopefully this brief overview has given you a better understanding of BenQ's XSign software, how you can create your own content, publish your own content, and really transform the communication at your district.
All right, wonderful. So at this point, we're going to open things up for Q&A. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and we've got Francisco and Alex available now to answer any questions that might be coming up. So we have Corey just asked, what are the differences between the ST and the SL models? So we also have, with Francisco in our studio, we also have our product managers, Charles and Jess, who are here. And so if for some reason, if I speak out of line, because our ST models are just now getting here, so they're brand new, straight off the truck. So the ST models are going to be your models that you would use in a campus. They're going to come in a 43-inch to 65-inch, and they are not going to be EDLA certified. They don't have the capability for that, but it does have all of the BenQ software. So the InstaShare and the DMS and everything else we talked about, it is available. It is not, the STs are not 24/7 rated like the SLs are, but they are like a superpower version of like a commercial signage or a commercial TV. So it's not something you're going to want to run 24/7, but it could run like 8 hours a day and be completely fine. They all come with a 3-year warranty, I believe. I'm going to make sure from the PMs that I'm not saying something I'm not supposed to, but, and then for the that is correct.
Yes.
And I believe there are also the STs are 350 or 400 nits. Charles, can you confirm that for me?
Yes, so the SL comes with 500 and the ST comes with 350.
Okay.
350. Yeah.
Yep. And so your current boards are going to be 400 to 450, depending on which model you have, if you have one of our BenQ boards. So these are going to be just a little bit not as quite as bright as your boards, but they would be perfect for your hallways. They're going to be like our entry-level version. We know schools are always looking to find ways to bring good products with great visuals into campuses, but they are trying not to break a bank. So we have that version. We also have our SL model, which is going to be the one that we were talking about that is 24/7 rated, that does have the Pantone certification for color and skin tone. The ST does have the color portion, but it doesn't have the skin tone Pantone certification or verification. The SLs, as Charles mentioned, are going to be 500 nits. They're going to range in size from 55 to 86 inches. Is that correct, Charles?
3 to 65.
Oh,
43 to 65.
that's for the ST, but what about the SL? We've moved on to the SL.
Oh, for the SL, it will be from 43 to 86.
Oh, 43 to 86. Sorry, I haven't seen one of the 43-inch ones yet. So yes, we do have them in all of those sizes. Those are 24/7 rated, and they are 500 nits, so they're going to be very bright. So if you wanted to put one in like the entryway of your school and it's all windows, you're not going to have any worry about competing with it because the signage pieces are not made with the same glass. Because they are signage, we know that they might get bumped into, they might get something, they might have issues. So it's made of a different material. Again, it's not non-touch, so we don't have to worry about the fine IR tracking. But they're beautiful. We have both models coming to the studio. And as you can see in the video with Alex, that was the SL. They're stunning. The color is stunning. We have had them at a couple of events and it stops people in their tracks. So the color accuracy, the beauty of it, all of that is available. We will have available to you, I believe, with the post-event email or the post email. We're going to at least have the SL spec sheet. Like I said, the STs are just getting here. And I think that one is complete, but if not, we will have it available for everyone very shortly. And we'll try to have that with your the post email from this webinar. I have another question asking, does XSign Designer work on the latest Macs? I'm going to have to turn that over to like Alex or Charles.
Is the question again? Not at the moment. No, that's not supported at the moment, but headquarters is working on that and will be available probably next year.
Yeah.
Perfect. I did have someone that asked. So, and Charles, again, catch me if I'm wrong. This is all what I've understood so far with these because we're just getting the STs. But yes, both of these boards can go from portrait mode to, you can mount them in portrait mode, and they can also be used in landscape mode. If you're using them on a stand, you can't go bigger than a 65-inch to move it to portrait mode because otherwise it will hit the floor. But if you were mounting it to a wall, you could mount it vertically and use it in portrait mode in any size. So if you wanted to go with one of the 86-inch bad boys, you can do that for the SL model. Charles, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, theoretically it's correct. You're right.
Yes. So you can do it in landscape mode. You can do it in portrait mode. However you want to use it, these are available to do that. We had another question in the Q&A that was asking about the different glass. Charles, could you clarify on what material the screen is made out of? Because I don't believe it's glass.
You are correct, Carly. It's not glass. It's just a panel, a normal plastic panel.
So most digital signage is made not with a firm glass because you're not expecting to touch it and things to that effect. So it makes it so that if, like, we think of some of these in the halls, if a kid throws a ball for some reason, you're not going to have issues with it breaking. You don't have to worry about it being 9H tempered because a 9H tempered piece is going to be very heavy. That's what's really nice about these signage pieces. They're much lighter than the boards because you don't have all of the glass and everything else on it. But it makes this the material for the screen is one where you won't have to worry about glare. And it also has the capability where if it takes a slight hit, you won't have any issues. Are there, thank you so much, Corey, for that question. Do we have any final questions from our audience today? I think we've caught them all. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you do have any further questions, you can shoot us an email or reach out to Francisco, who's always available, and he can connect you with the right people if he doesn't have the answer. And I hope that this was informative and that everyone feels like they have a better understanding of our digital signage that we have to offer now for BenQ, both the ST04 models in 43 to 65 inch, and then the SL models are going to be 43 to 86 inch. We are very excited to share this information with you. These are great new products that we're adding to our lineup for BenQ. And I want to also thank Alex McCure, Francisco Flores, and Charles in the wings for being available to help us with this presentation today. And we really hope to see you next month when we have our next live event. And remind you that everyone who attended today will be registered for a chance to win that great BenQ Cup. And we look forward to chatting with you again next month.
Thank you, Carly. Just one side note on my end. So right now we appreciate everybody's time to join this webinar. We would like to let you know that we are running a campaign right now. If you buy a digital signage, you will get from us 1 year free of X-Sign. That will be on BenQ. So yeah, just take advantage of that opportunity that we're giving at the end of this year. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your sales rep.
Okay, and we had one final question just come in. Can the digital signage work with APIs, like from a mass communication platform?
Yes, they can right now. They can with single wire and Formacast, and we're working on other partnerships with a few other emergency alert companies as we speak.
Yes, we're working also with Centigix, Rise Vision as well. So something interesting is coming up next year in Q1.
Very exciting to hear. Thank you, Jason, for that question. I hope that answered it for you. And again, just want to thank everybody for your time. Feel free to reach out if you have anything else you'd like, and we can connect you with the sales rep in your territory. They can maybe bring you guys one of these signage pieces to check out. And we'll see you guys in December. Thanks so much for your time and have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone.